iPhone 16e. There has been a lot of controversy surrounding this phone. Maraming reviewer ay ayaw dito. From the US. First world problems, pero sa Philippines, parang very sulit siya. For only 39,990, it is as fast as the iPhone 16. Has a much more bigger battery than the 16. 3,500 mAh lang po si iPhone 16. Ito naman 4,000 mAh. In fact, up to 4 hours of extra video playback ang kaya niya ibigay sa'yo over the iPhone 16. The processor is also impressive with Apple Intelligence Apple A18. Pero underpowered lang daw ng konti. It's fast, has bigger battery, and is much more affordable. Guys, 54,990 po si iPhone 16 at 39,990 lang po si iPhone 16e. That is a 15,000 peso difference. Guys, huwag kayo magpa-autok. Meron nagsabi ng mag-iPhone 16 ka na lang. That is assuming na meron ka extra 15K. But what if 40K na talaga yung budget nyo? Is the iPhone 16e a good buy or not? Let's unbox. Pasabihin sa inyo watching Unbox Diaries. Woohoo! Teka, bakit na yung iPhone dito? Meron tayong mga iPhone 13, 15, 16. Props lang muna. In the future, compare natin siya sa 15, 13. Here's the box. Kamukha si iPhone 15 box. Ooh, dynamic island. Notch pa. Bought this from Kim Store sa live namin sa ECOC. 100% legit. Not modified. Sealed pa? By the way, 128GB na po yung kanyang base variant. And this only has 2 colors. Black and white. Sa ilalim pa. Here we go. Ooh, one camera. Wait lang. Bago man dismaya, wait lang. Underneath we're getting Type-C to Type-C cable. Very nice and premium packaging. At yun na po yun naman. Wala nang papeles. SIM ejector pin. Ayan. Walang charger. Here it is. First unpeeling. Satisfying.
Oh yeah.
Oh. There you go. Apple sa harap, apple sa likod. Now that is a very nice color. This black color has a nice matte finish at the back. Sobrang smooth. And it does not invite a lot of fingerprints. The whole look of the phone is very, very expensive. Minimal, premium. It definitely looks like an Apple product. Marami nagsabi na si iPhone 16e does not look like the iPhone 16. But if you look closely, there are only 2 things na nagkaiba sa kanila, which is kanilang cameras. May dalawang malaking pill-shaped camera si iPhone 16, tapos merong isang maliit na camera lang po si iPhone 16e. The other noticeable difference is yung kanyang camera shutter button dito sa sides. Wala po si iPhone 16e. Which is for me, parang hindi masyadong nagagamit yun. Many think it's a useless feature. At kung yung nagpapalagdag sa price ng iPhone 16, it's nice they removed it para mababa yung presyo. By the way, si iPhone 15 and iPhone 13, glossy yung mga likod nila. Although, para silang glass back. What I don't like about the old iPhones, no, is yung kanilang very glossy back. Invites a lot of smudges and dirt and fingerprints. Dito naman, it does not. Sobrang linis ng feel niya. Parang sayang kung maglalagay ka ng case dito. Same with the iPhone 16. Pero yan, the shape of the body is definitely the iPhone 16. Flat back, flat sides, curved corners, matte finish back, metallic sides with the antenna bands. By the way, wala din MagSafe si iPhone 16e. Pero kung hindi naman nagma-MagSafe, no, it does not matter. But if you're a MagSafe user, then you're missing out a lot. Kung nagkana ka sa iPhone 12 and 13 at madalas ka gumamit ng MagSafe, walang MagSafe dito. But if you don't use it, then I think sulit po to. Maliit yung phone ha, 6.1 inch. Kung nanggaling ka sa isang Android na 6.7, 6.8 inches, this is gonna be a very small phone. But if you're coming from an iPhone XR, 11, 12, 13, same size lang po, 6.1 inches. Oh, by the way, meron na siyang action button dito. So if that's something na want mo, lagi mo napapanood sa iPhone 16, meron siya dito. Sa harapan naman, it's the same display as the iPhone 13. This is a Super Retina XDR display, so OLED po siya, 6.1 inch, up to 800 nits max brightness, tapos umabot na ng 1200 peak brightness, HDR, pero 60Hz lang po siya. Well, si iPhone 16, 60Hz din. Kaya lang dynamic island na po to, ito naman notch pa rin. Now, if refresh rate is very important to you, kung nagaling ka sa isang Android phone na merong 120 FPS or Hertz, you're going to be disappointed kasi nga halos lahat ng mga entry level ngayon na Android phone, merong at least 90Hz refresh rate. This one is 60Hz. Pero kung nagaling ka sa iPhone XR or 11, malaking jump po to in terms of display quality. At nasabi ko na ba malaki yung battery life. Now let's cover the elephant in the room, which is yung kanyang isang camera lang po sa likod, which is a 48MP main camera. Wala na pa siyang ultra-wide angle lens, just like the 16. Even the 13 has the ultra-wide. Si 15 may ultra-wide. If that is actually very important to you, wala po siya dito. Sayang. Ultra-wide is very useful for me. Pero kung hindi ka nagpa 0.6x or 0.5x, then okay lang po. But if you use that a lot, you will miss it. And sadly, for 40,000 pesos, walang ultra-wide. I think kahit anong Android phone out there, for 40,000 pesos, merong ultra-wide angle lens always. But this is the iPhone. Syempre, if you're buying an iPhone, you're not buying it for just the specs. You're buying it for the status and the prestige. Now, going back sa display niya, the display is very similar to the iPhone 13. 6.1, OLED, 60Hz. May HDR na rin po siya. Notch din po. Same na same yung bezels. And I think that's what most Filipinos are asking right now. Should you go for the iPhone 13 or the iPhone 16e? Dagdag na lang konti? Or mag-iPhone 15 ka na lang plus 5K. Pero may yun, yung 15 is muna na lang po ngayon with ultra-wide angle lens na. Mas maganda yung display. Pero kasi guys, mas malaki nang dihamak yung battery nito. If battery life is your goal, this will not disappoint. By the way, the iPhone 13 is around 28, 30K, mga ganon. Right now, madalas naka-sale for 26K kay Kim Store. Now, if you're gonna go for the iPhone 16e, no, plus 10K siguro, or 12K from the iPhone 13, you're gonna get bigger battery. Same great display. Tsaka USB Type-C na po to. iPhone 13, Lightning connector pa rin ang gamit niya. Guys, nyo alam kung gaano kahirap na ikaw lang ang merong Lightning port sa bahay. Ay ka naghahanap ng Lightning connector. Pero kung naka-Type-C ka na, kung meron kang mga Android friends or family members sa bahay, madali lang po umiram ng kable. Kaya lang may MagSafe to wala. By the way, Apple charger can charge this 20 watts, 0 to 50% in just 30 minutes. Okay na. For watching movies, it's great. Sound is amazing. Buong buo po. May bass din po siya. Guys, I think in terms of sound quality, this is better than most 40,000 peso Android phones out there. It's big, it's buo, and it's very crisp. Siyempre, it's not gonna be as bright as the iPhone 15 or the 16. Kung indoors ka lang naman, no, parang very same na naman sila in terms of brightness. Pero kung outdoors, you might want to get the iPhone 16 for extra brightness. But in terms of video quality, napaganda, very crisp, malinaw. HDR really works very well here, especially in Netflix. Kapag madilim yung movie, you will see more even in the darkest parts of the movie. Kapag colorful yung palabas, nako, sobrang nagpa-pop yung color. You will enjoy watching a lot of movies here or videos. Even just checking pictures here is a joy. Social media, kahit sa gallery nyo lang, ang ganda po ng color reproduction ng display. Very pro yung dating niya. In terms of performance, gano'n siya bilis. Powered by the Apple A18 chip, same po yung kanyang processor with the Apple iPhone 16. Kaya lang may konting difference, guys. So, in terms of CPU, pares lang po sila, pero GPU, 5 cores po yung kay iPhone 16. 4 cores lang po si iPhone 16e. Ano ang ibig sabihin nun? iPhone 16e, ang Antutu benchmark score is 1.3 million points. iPhone 16 naman is 1.6 million points just for the GPU. Pero sama ko na sa iPhone 16 Pro Max with the Apple A18 Pro chip, almost 1.7 million points sa Antutu benchmark with 6 cores na GPU. Pero kasi sobrang mahal na siya. Now, if you were to ask me kung worth it ba yung extra 15K to go for the iPhone 16, the performance jump is not that big. Now, for pretty much opening apps, social media, napakabilis po ni iPhone 16e. It's fast, zippy, very smooth din. Yung nga lang, hindi siya kasing smooth na isang 120Hz refresh rate display na makita mo sa mga iPhone 16 Pros. Pro speed and pro smoothness ay reserve lang sa mga Pro variants nila. In terms of Mobile Legends naman, ako guys, very optimized naman po siya. Napakabilis, na walang frame drops whatsoever. Pretty sure na mag-enjoy ka dito as a jungler. Kaya lang guys, yun lang, 60Hz lang po to. Kung habol mo yung 120 frames per second, wala pong ultra frame rates dito. Well, kahit si 16, wala rin po yun. Sa Pro lang po siya. Alam nyo ba guys, in terms of optimization, si Apple iPhone po yung sa mga pinaka-optimized. Like, kahit anong games na lang guys, kompleto yung kanilang settings. Syempre, kung limited lang sa 60Hz yung kanyang display, hindi siya maglalabas ng mga 90 frames per second, 120 FPS. Pero kasi guys, in terms of performance, yung frame sobrang consistent. Minimal lang yung ghost touching. And you can feel it, no? Even with just 1.3 million points to benchmark, kaya niya mag 60 frames per second lagi sa high settings. Not highest, high lang po. Dito sa Genshin Impact. Pero Vince, parang gano'n makalaki yung difference niya from the 13? Si iPhone 13 ay meron 1.1 million points sa benchmark. Ito man 1.3 million. So mga 150K po yung kanilang difference in terms of points. Honestly, you will never see the difference sa Call of Duty, Mobile Legends. Pero kung mabigat talaga yung game, you will really feel a difference. Pero sa mga highest settings lang po, no? Si iPhone 13, madalas medium graphics lang po siya. Kung gusto mo ng 60 FPS lagi. Pero kung gusto mo ng high settings, mag-iPhone 16e ka. Also, mas mahaba yung battery life nito. So if you want more gameplay throughout the day, iPhone 16e. Important yun battery life. At ayun yung kanyang performance. Kamusta naman yung kanyang camera? The camera is 48MP. Main sensor, isa lang. Pero sabi naman daw ni Apple, 2-in-1. Pwede rin na po siyang pang portrait. May 2x zoom dito sa camera app. Walang 0.5x katulad ni 13 at 15 at 16. Pero in terms of quality, nako, napakaganda ng image quality na makuha mo dito sa iPhone 16e. Legit. Legit yung sharpness, yung kulay, very pro. Although medyo high in saturation siya ng konti. Wala masyadong beautification tong si iPhone na. So kung naghahanap ka ng phone na magpapaganda sa'yo, magpapakinis ng skin, this is not the phone you're looking for. Si Vivo po yun, si Oppo, si Realme, mga Android phones po yan. Samsung din, ginagawa yun. Pero sa iPhone, kailangan mag-makeup ka talaga dito. Paghilamos. bago magpa-picture. Although, gumagana yung kanyang 2x zoom dito. Still very sharp, no? Pero kasi ito ay hindi siya tunay na telephoto lens. So nagka-crop in lang po siya using a 48MP sensor. But I compared this with the iPhone 13. For the most part, very close to kanilang image quality. Although mas lamang lang talaga ng konti itong si iPhone 16e, mas klaro, mas detailed. Grabe yung contrast ng iPhone 16e. Alam mo na mas pulido yung kulay, mas may buhay. Yun nga lang talaga, wala siyang ultra-wide angle lens. So kung important sa yun, this is gonna be a big deal breaker. But don't fret, yung selfie camera ay merong ultra-wide din. With the ultra-wide, ang payat ng mukha ko. Pag standard lang, medyo malaki yung mukha ko. Highly suggest na gamitin nyo lagi yung ultra-wide angle feature ng selfie camera. By the way, the A18 chip is just so powerful that it can give you 4K 60 frames per second with Dolby Vision in video. Kaya lang when it comes to cinematography, it's very limited kasi nga isa lang yung kanyang camera lens. Pero, it does have all the bells and whistles. Matindi yung stabilization, meron pa rin siyang slow motion, up to 240 frames per second, may time-lapse. By the way, meron siyang action button dito. Sa taas ng volume rocker, guys, ito po yung action button. The action button wherein you can assign specific kinds of tasks to it. For example, guys, pwede mong pindot lang, i-open niyo yung flashlight, or pag hinold mo, i-open niyo yung camera app. Then, while nasa camera app, pwede mong i-click na lang yan for the shutter. So, kung nagkara ka sa iPhone XR or sa 13, 12, 11? Hindi na po siya toggle switch dito. Button na po siya. For the silent or vibrate, mga ganun. Pero kasi hindi siya limited sa mga ganung functions. You can actually assign it to many things. Daming pwede mong gawin dito. At syempre, latest iOS 18 update na po to. With Apple Intelligence included. Kaya lang hindi siya kasing advanced ni Samsung. Saktuhan lang po yung AI ni Apple. Hindi pa siya ganun ka-useful. So kung nagbabalak kang bilhin ng iPhone dahil lang po sa Apple Intelligence, think again. It's not such a good feature. And of course, up to 5 years software updates daw, sabi ni Apple. Nice. Yan ang makuha mo sa isang iPhone. Long-term support. But the question now is, para kanino talaga to? Itong iPhone 16e is quite confusing. 40,000 pesos or 39,990, 128. Should you just get the iPhone 13? Or kung galing ka na iPhone 13, should you upgrade to the iPhone 16e? Or kung nanggaling ka pa sa mas lumang iPhone, XR, 11, mag-16 ka ba? Here is my final verdict. I just think that most Filipinos naghihintayan na lang po na magbura yung mga versions nung previous years. iPhone 15, iPhone 14, 13, ayan. Diba may kasabihan nga, lumabas na yung bagong iPhone 16, bibili na ako ng iPhone 11. Lumabas na 15, bili na ako ng XR. Simply because there are just some countries na can't afford talaga yung mga iPhone 16, 16 Pro, Pro Max. Guys, we don't even have an official Apple store here in the Philippines. Mga reseller lang po, Power Mac Center, Beyond the Box, Kim Store. Pero dito yung verdict ko. Guys, iPhone 13 ka, 28K or 26,000 pesos live natin. If okay lang sa'yo yung kanyang battery life, which is not as good as the 16e, at kung okay lang sa'yo na lightning connector po siya. Other than that, kompleto na po siya with ultra-wide angle lens. Same na same yung display. And it's less than 12, 13, 15,000 pesos than the iPhone 16e. But if you can get the iPhone 16e at a very low discounted price, nako, iba na yung usapan yan. But guys, ito kasi masyado malayo yung difference in pricing. 15K na po. So I'm not sure if it's worth it to go for the 16. Pero kasi ang pogi ng 16 na, may ultra-wide na, so ang ganda pa ng design. Kung meron kang 55,000 pesos, then go for it. Pero 128 na din po yung kanyang base variant. 128, 128, 128. Pero may pera ako ngayon, may 45,000 pesos ako. Bibili ako ng iPhone 15. Very similar in performance with the 16e. Konting dagdag na lang. May ultra-wide angle lens ka na. Type-C na rin yung kanyang port. Okay din yung kanyang battery. But again, if you get the iPhone 16e at a discounted price, I think it's a good choice. Kung 35, 36 na lang po to, that's nice. But mostly this year, this is my most highly recommended iPhone 13 talaga. Pero tingnan natin, i-compare din siya si iPhone 13 at si iPhone 16e or itong dalawa, 16 and 16e, or the iPhone 16e and the iPhone 15. If you want to see that video, subscribe ka lang, hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my great content. Sabihin sa inyo watching Unbox Diaries.